Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I want to take a moment and share something with you. It was 40 years ago. I was working as a counselor with the Veterans Administration there in Chicago. I got a chance to get exposed to a lot of the pain and suffering for veterans who were coming back from the war and the association with their families and their dependents, and some of those who were receiving benefits from the VA because of being survivors to those vets that were killed. And I got a chance to see a lot of pain and suffering in Chicago. I didn't like it. I thought there was something that could be done about it, but I wasn't looking for anybody else to do it. I decided to play a role in it myself. And so to be able to identify with that pain and suffering, I stopped working for the Veterans Administration, and I started living what you would call a life at the low level, where I could actually feel the pain, because I felt I had enough faith in that power that lives inside of me that I would be able to do something to make the situation better. But at the moment that I made that decision, I was married at that time, and my wife said to me that if I was going to pursue that route, then we were going to have to split. Can you imagine how that made me feel? I had taken a vow, public vow, supposedly before God, and she did as well, that we would stay together for eternity, at least all of our physical lives. No sickness would cause us to separate. No poverty would cause us to separate or split. And here I am at this moment in time, being drawn to do something bigger than just existing. And the first thing she wants to do is ditch me. I'm thinking, what about the oath that was taken? What did that mean? Did that mean anything? And then, ladies and gentlemen, I found out that oath did not mean a darn thing. We divorced. So there was a moment that I had to try to get myself together, hanging out in Chicago. I decided that when the hostages were taken in Iran, I would go and join the military and ask for that particular duty in the Persian Gulf. So if a war broke out and there was some deaths, maybe I'd be the one that would lose his life as opposed to some other sailor, because I joined the Navy. So I go into the Navy, and the conflict ends, there's no war. So I end up being stuck in the Navy, only to find that the Commander-in-Chief, Ronald Reagan, was doing all kinds of things to cause the people of this country that were poor more suffering. Not only that, people in other countries more suffering. And I had jumped out of the kettle into the fire. So right away, I had wanted nothing to do with the programs of the American government and the President of the United States. So I turned my back on that. I didn't want any honors from the military. If I got anything from the military, I want them to make me say, we don't want him, he was nothing. He was no good for us. And I wanted to make sure that's what they could say about me, because I am me, and I'm not playing these jive-techy games. Well, that's progress 40 years ahead. In fact, tonight, I go to the cash machine. I want to get some money out so I can give my daughter, she's going to participate in a state speech event tomorrow. And I want to get some money out so I can give her, so she can have some cash to do what she might want to do, to eat, socialize a bit, only to find out that my account had been reduced so low that the money I wanted to get out, I couldn't get out. Now, when I come to research and find out what happened, I find out that I had ordered something I had found on the internet that was being advertised, and it was sort of important to me. I wanted it, and they were offering it free, a trial period. Just get it free, and you just pay for the shipping. 2 bottles. The bottles were free. The shipping was $6 something a piece. So I authorized $12 or something to be taken out of my account. I come back and find out they've taken close to about $90 twice. And I'm thinking, what was that for? Now, when I do my research, I find out that whatever I ordered at the time, I had never received. And they had, rather than taking $12, so you can imagine what kind of fit I picked. So they agreed to send me my money back. Then I think about this country, just like I did before, 40 years ago. And I'm looking at a president that the American people have put up there in that White House. I've never seen a liar who stood out as a liar, wasn't even ashamed that he was a liar, and was doing everything that I had seen no other president do. Supposedly there were laws to prevent him from doing this. You got the Congress, you got the Senate, the House of Representatives that's supposed to protect the people from a snake like this. In fact, they were supposed to have been protected by that particular instrument, the Electoral College, that is designed to keep misfits out of the White House. But they chose this misfit, put him right there. And he lies and lies and lies, and everybody in the world watch him lie. You know, we got television and social media, so it's transferred all over the world to see this big liar and to watch the Senate act like they embrace every lie that he tells, because they don't do anything about his lies. And you got the House of Representatives who tries to do something and they want to make it political. Say, oh, these are Democrats trying to get me. These are not lies. The Democrats are just trying to pretend. And they have used the institutions of government, because this guy is so foul, that they just followed the investigation that tells you exactly who this guy is. And he lies and say they're trying to get me. They don't want me. The people want me. I'm the greatest. But they are trying to get me. And he, as being perceived by those who are glad that he's trying to take the nation back to be a white nation at the expense of everybody that's got melanin in their complexion, in their skin, not recognizing that they themselves owe their existence on the face of the earth to a black woman. Every last one of you white people owe your existence on this earth to a black woman. But you have been indoctrinated with hate. I mean, at its greatest form. And he's sitting there complaining about what they have found on him, and he's trying to make sure that he tells a lie that make people think that the institutions are lying. And now he's put people in place that when they come up and try to present the evidence, it will be rebutted. And what does he want to do? He wants to start investigating the investigators. Now, what do you think will come out of that? They investigate him, but they can't do anything. Now he has his people in place. They go and investigate these other people. And all he's got to do, he's not concerned about the evidence. All he has to do is lie, because he knows lies work. So he just lied about them. But all of a sudden, while they couldn't do nothing to him, he has the power and authority behind him to do something to these people. Perhaps put them all in jail. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have authoritarian regimes. You got Russia doing these kind of things. You got what he's talking about, North Korea and others who do these same kinds of things. And you, the American people, presidents of universities, lawyers, doctors, presidents of organizations, and different other agencies. You are somebody, you think. You're governors. You're mayors. You are somebody, you think. And you act like your hands are tied. Why don't you get off your butt and do something for what's good? Why don't you get off your butt and stand for something that's decent and say there's no way on the face of this dead blasted earth that you're going to stand back and let a nut make a nut out of you? Come on, people. What the heck wrong with you? There ain't that many of me in America. There's not enough of me to just stand up against the whole nation who's... Come on, people. You got to have some faith. You got to believe in something other than the law. You got to believe in something other than your privilege. You should believe in God. And I'm not talking about a God of lies, a God of deception, a God of prejudice, a God of racism, a God of bigotry. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a God of love who respects every last one of you, who is prepared that you can live on this earth as if you're in paradise, if you accept it and refuse to let anything reject it. But I guess I'm just finding out what this nation is really made of. I hope it's not true. I thought I'd just share this with you, and maybe, just maybe, you will wake up.